Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are very happy to see that you are all here. Obviously, changing the time was a good idea because I can see there's a good bunch of people here today. And no wonder, because today we have I can't wait to hear what she's got for us today. Today we are going to learn how we can talk nicely to ourselves, how we can.
Oh, you muted yourself.
You got muted.
You're
Judy.
muted.
That's probably my fault. I was muting some people. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
How
You
long
said-
did you follow me?
you said today we're going to talk about how we can talk nicely to ourselves.
Yeah, and be kind to ourselves and everything to ourselves. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful theme. And who else to talk about that in our wonderful master coach, Judy Fenton. Judy has actually been a registered nurse for more than 40 years. And I know that she is so knowledgeable inside the world of health and everything that concerns us as people. So I can't wait to get you started, Judy. Word is yours.
Thanks a lot. I am going to be sharing my screen. And let me just tell you, if you see me mopping, that's because I have to mop. My eyes are tearing, and I think I might have a stricture or clogged up tear duct. Going to the eye doctor later today, and hopefully he can fix it for me. So if you see me mopping, it's not because I'm upset or sad or anything. All righty, it's good to see everybody here. And I am going to share my screen. Host disabled. Somebody fix me so I can share my screen.
I think he's working on it. If you wanted us to hear what you were saying, Gary,
It's still host disabled participant screen sharing.
You're on.
Yay! Okie dokie. Okay. I'm pretty sure everybody can probably see this, correct? If you can't, just holler. So this week is very appropriate, or the day after Valentine's Day, to do this subject, to be kind to yourself, because you are the only you that you have. And we need to take care of ourselves in many ways. And it's so easy to not be kind to ourselves, as I'm sure everybody realizes. So anyway, Bill Voss is coming in, I see. I hope you're not wanting me to admit him. Okay. Moving right along.
Start your slideshow.
Oh, thank you. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it? Now that's interesting. Let's just see what happens here. Yep, not working. That's terrific. Go back to one. Oh, that's good. I guess we may not have a slideshow.
No, hi, Judy. All you need to do is press the start button, which is down there.
Oh, from beginning. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
It's slideshow from beginning. And I should know that too. Absolutely. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Okay, bear with. Anyway. Anyway, it's still not working.
You just added 2 slides, so just go down 2.
I did go down 2.
No, then 3. There you go.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. Very good. Anyway, so this is what we generally do to ourselves. At least I know I do. I will fess up for myself, but especially if we're going through all kinds of issues in our life, or lately we're very busy in our life, but we beat up on ourselves in many ways. And I just like to hear from some other people. What are some of the ways that you beat up on yourself? Obviously, not really with a fist, I don't think. But what are some of the ways that you might berate yourself? I tend to berate myself when I'm seeking perfection in some job that I'm doing, and it doesn't come out the way I want it to. So, what are some ways that somebody else does that to themselves? We're not having a Q&A. We're having it all the way through.
You mean we are having a Q&A?
No, we are doing the Q&A right now.
Well,
That's what
I can chime in a little bit, Judy, if it's okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, in the morning, sometimes I would go through all of the failures that I've ever had in my life, and take inventory of that, and you write down the failure after failure after failure, and all your fatal flaws and all of that sort of stuff. Not a great way to start a day. So just I've done that before.
Oh, I think I've done that before a few times as well myself. May have even done it this morning. I didn't keep track of it, but I wouldn't be surprised. How about somebody else?
Well, I'm just going through a contest that I'm beating myself up that I should have just started right away, like they suggested, like I need 1 more week, and I could have easily given myself 8 more weeks or more. I can't stop thinking that way.
Gotcha. Who else? One other person. Tell me how you will berate yourself when nobody's looking.
I'm going to piggyback with what Dr. Gary said. I do that too. Maybe not the whole list, but sometimes it's the same one over and over again. And making a list on my agenda. Okay, today I got to call this person, that, do this. And then I'm marking it down for the next day. I don't get to what I wanted to accomplish that certain day. And that there's no reason. It's just being distracted, not staying focused, I guess.
Yep. I think we all can understand that one. Absolutely. Okay. So why does anybody think we do this? Why in the world, what are we trying to achieve by, berating ourselves for imperfections, or all of the negative things that we can think about ourselves, and all the things that we say we've done wrong in the past? Why in the world do we do that?
I think we've set self-expectations over our lifetime, from histories or experiences, and we're operating on those expectations. When change happens or something happens, I'm getting that right now, but you can't always operate on the same mode that you've learned. And so it's resistance to change and adapt to different circumstances. I really think it's just we put it on ourselves, a self-expectation.
Yep. I will say for myself, I think it all started for me as a child. And my father was my hero. And my father would help me at night with my homework. And when it came to math, I just didn't like those numbers. And it just was confusing to me. And it was so frustrating to him that I say he made me feel, no, I made me feel, but I was a child, but I made me feel stupid, and I made me feel unworthy. I made myself feel like I'm just no good at all. And I think I've carried that through my life. And even though I've been working on it lots, I think that that's probably why maybe many people have had childhood traumas or some kind of trauma that makes them want to beat up on themselves a little bit.
Lack of confidence, maybe, Judy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Miss Judy,
You bet.
it's Nelda. You're really making me think deeper, but this is what I would say. So yes, we're resistant to change because it takes effort, it takes work to make a change. It's easier not to move forward than taking action because it takes deep focus, self-motivation, and to me, surrounding myself with more positive people that are motivated instead of your status quo, who are you hanging out with? Those people really either develop you or you stay stagnant. So to me, that matters to me. So those are the key points that I'm thinking when you're sharing that.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Nelda. Anybody else want to chime in?
Maybe comparing yourself with others, by saying, oh, I'm not as good as them. So,
Oh, I wish I could do this, or oh, I wish I could do that, or be like them. Yep. Vicky, did you have your hand up for a reason there?
My brain is always turning opposite of everyone else's. Because what I hear when you ask that question is, I know a lot of people have a tendency of listing off all the negatives, everything that's gone wrong, everything that's bad, everything that's blah, blah, blah. Instead of calling it gone wrong, bad, or any other, excuse my language, stupid words, then make an experience jar. Write everything down that you have experienced where you would have wanted another outcome. Put it in the jar. Then you don't have to go and remember all those things. You can just look on your jar and you don't have to be afraid to forget them because you know they're there. The jar is taking care of it for you. So don't beat yourself up. Put your experience in the jar and then say, I would have wished for another outcome, but it didn't. So now I've got a chance to redo it.
I like that. That's a good idea. I have heard of taking your things that you don't like and burning them, but it'd be easier to put them in a jar.
Yeah, but if you burn them, you haven't handled them.
That's true. That's true.
So I think sometimes our subconscious mind is afraid that we are going to forget things. And we
Oh, yeah.
certainly don't want to forget the bad things.
Oh, heavens,
The
no.
things that went wrong, or the things where you can laugh at someone, or whatever. But I would just, instead of calling it all that, excuse me, crap, I would make an experience jar, because that is what it is. It is
Okay.
a lot of experiences.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Melanie.
Yeah, I just have to say I related so much to what you said, Judy. I mean, as to
My childhood.
why, yeah, and and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I've had a very
Right.
strange upbringing with abuse.
Okay.
No matter what I did, like there was this ideal I was supposed to achieve, that my stepfather wanted. And no matter what I did everything he told me to do, but no matter what I did, I never met that, that goal that he set, and then he died. And then I thought, well, I'd never be able to do it.
Wow.
But it was so disappointing over and over and over again for years.
Mhm.
And I do, I know I do, you know, when you brought that up, I really do, yeah, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I just know it's never gonna work out, you know? And I've done a lot of stuff to try and improve that, but boy, that sure was there when you mentioned that.
Yeah, and I think the more we try to improve, the more we realize how much we have to improve. Anyway, moving right along. Okay, that kind of goes along with it. Who is your worst enemy in your life, as far as feeding negativity to yourself? Oh yeah, I think that goes without saying too much. So, anyway, we've gone through a good amount of negativity. We don't need to keep going through beating the dead horse here. But so how do we get to the other side? Okay, right now we're over on the left. We want to go to the right. Does anybody ever feel good with a frown on their face? I don't think so. I think I'll just answer that.
Judy?
And how much more do we feel when we've got a smile on our face? How about when we've been laughing? How does that make us feel? Yeah, absolutely.
Judy?
Yep. Oh, Brent, I can't see you.
Yeah,
Okay.
one thing that I learned years and years ago that helped me, I learned it in some seminar or book or something like that, is probably in the 80s. One real powerful statement that when you make a mistake, you screw up, you say to yourself, that's not like me. Next time I'll do it this way. That shuts off all the negative feedback, and that doesn't pile on negatives on negatives. That's not like me. Next time I'll do it that way. You look in the mirror in the morning and you got a bunch of extra fat hanging off and stuff. You look at that, say, that's not like me. I'm going to fix that. That's not like me. So that's always helped me, stay positive and keep myself, from, negative feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. We don't have to be positive all the time. It's perfectly natural, actually, and okay to feel sad, angry, annoyed, frustrated, scared, and anxious. Having these feelings doesn't make us a negative person either. It makes us human. We are human, and we will always have and experience negativity. But too much negativity can and will make us physically sick, mentally and emotionally sick, for sure. So we need to turn the negative, let's put person in, okay? Turn the negative thoughts into the positive thoughts. We know easy ways to begin. How do we do that? What is it that we know that we've learned in CHC, for instance? Come on, this is easy, people.
Actually, the first thing that came up for me was just go to bed earlier.
Okay, for some reason my slide is not advancing again.
While you're
Why?
trying to fix it, I must say the minute I smiled when you asked that question, I felt better.
Okay, good. Oh, there. Excellent. That's great, Melanie. So what is it that some of the things that we've learned in CHC through our coaching courses, if you've done that?
Well, I can say that we've learned a little bit more than just the 10 laws and healthy lifestyle, because we started off with a vision board, which means what is our dream, what really makes us motivated and love to wake up in the morning, and then put that dream everywhere in our house. Also, these affirmations and the goals and everything, just you surround us with that too. So I would have to just kind of add that it's not just the laws of physical health that yeah, okay, that's good enough. Thanks.
That
Oh,
made me
absolutely.
happier just thinking about it.
Yay.
I
Yes.
think you need to know where you're going also. That's one of the things that we captured at the CHC class.
Yeah. Where are you going and how are you going to get there?
Yes.
Where would somebody like to go that they're thinking about right now, and how are they going to get there? I thought I just saw my hand up. I don't think it was. So do you think that these things are really important in this healthy lifestyle? Or can you just maybe eat what you want and does it matter?
So Judy, we know we need to eat healthy. All of these are right there in your heart. But like Dr. Gary said, the vision board's important. The affirmations are important. Waking up with a grateful heart and starting when you're going negative, start thinking about what you do have, all the great things you do have. I am, I can. Those are very, very
Yes.
important. And it's the 6 inches between your ears that makes a difference. And yes, this healthy lifestyle is a huge impact, but everything else surrounds it. So you can cover the heart with affirmations, vision board, gratefulness, and tell yourself that you can and take a step forward.
Right. Okay. What about mental and emotional? That doesn't show there. What kinds of things can we do for mental and emotional? Positivity, I should say, maybe. Nancy. Yep, you're muted.
I was watching something just the other day and it was talking, there's a lot of things when you come to mental and emotional, but this was interesting just based on the simple principles in CHC about exercise, because we just think of it as somebody running along or doing something active, but the reality they were talking about was muscle and what the muscles do when you activate them. When you contract muscle, there are hormones that are produced that actually fend off depression and this type of thing. It's very simplistic explanation, but all of these things, and I think of it as moving the body, like when you're stuck, you're sitting at home or you're whatever, you find yourself, I mean, I've not been to this degree, but people who can't get out of bed or anything like that, moving the body is huge because we are non-physical and physical. We're energy and a physical body, and we've got to address things from one or both directions at the same time to really become whole. So I think that movement of the body is something, if you can just remember to start moving your body, you don't have to address issues, just start moving and you will get a different perspective,
Yeah.
especially if it's in a different environment.
How do you feel mentally or emotionally after you've exercised? Not just
Relief.
physically.
It's relief. There's some kind of relief that takes place in the body. It's like, yeah. And I have a sister who's married to a psychiatrist who explained it this way. Your energy, and you're either going outward energy, or you're going like this and you're piling it up. And so you've got to do something to move that energy. And it can be talking, but mostly physical. You don't have to address details. You're just dealing with your energy. And sometimes we're just, in that place in our head where we're trying to analyze what's going on with the energy. There's really nothing to deal with except that movement. And so there's different ways to look at that.
You release stress actually when you exercise. Your body releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just gives us a better vibrational feeling in our body, I think. It's definitely between, as Nelda said, the 6 inches between our ears. Melanie.
That really is a physical thing that happens. So especially
Yeah,
especially when you use weights, actually. But
okay.
I was just gonna say that every morning I do guided breathing exercises and a morning prayer, and that always, actually, I've been sober from drinking for, in May it'll be 34 years.
Wow.
There. And when I first one of the first people I met said, I've never every person I know who's been sober a really long time, there's not one of them that doesn't do this 3rd step prayer every morning. And so I've done that every morning. I took it to heart. and it's really true. And and I would say it until I really am grateful,
Mm-hmm.
And that's something else that I haven't been doing that I really, really like to do. And that's making a gratitude list every day. It like at least 5 things that you're grateful for. Even I know I feel really grateful when I get to take a warm shower, and I always think of, oh my God, the kings and queens in past days would have really loved to have running hot water in there, or running water.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was reading, a lot of people recommend that we have a gratitude journal. And every day, at least put something down into your gratitude journal, like a diary, basically.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And part of the AA is to accept the things we cannot change. Well, sometimes we have to change the things we can't accept anymore about ourselves.
Yes.
Vicky.
You just jogged my memory a bit, because what do you do if you are getting, as we say here, the wrong foot out of the bed in the morning? Then I came to think about my pensioners, because I do a balance team over in the sports center, and it's Tuesday and Thursdays in the morning, and they are almost puking because they need to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they think it's horrible. But what they all say is, the reason why we come is because we leave with a smile on our faces. I do a lot for us to be silly, to remember that we need sometimes to be silly. We need to make silly things to music. I always say we need to have funny walks. We need to see who of us can make the most funny walk and still keep balance. And that can be very difficult, but I can tell you, it is so funny that we've actually had an accident by a lady who, yeah, she laughed so much the water ran out of her eyes the wrong way. But it is all about changing your mental stage. If you can go down the black road, you can always stop it and start going down the white road. And then at some point find the in between and go, in between those two, so you are not getting too dark minded instead of too light minded, because if you're too wide in your mind, you can do very silly things. But I think sometimes it's a decision.
Oh, yeah.
It's just as easy as it's a decision. But if you're feeling down, put your favorite music on and sing like nobody can hear you, or dance like no one is ever going to see you. It helps. You cannot be sad when you're dancing and singing. So
Nope, can't. It's impossible.
Judy?
I know. Go. Oh, yes, Brent.
You know, just like she says, and you mentioned it starts in the mind. The first place is mental, you know, and that's why gratitude is so important. And the first thing to start in a day, and that's the first thing Tony Robbins teaches and tells everybody to start every day out with a list of gratitude and thinking about that. That gets you on a positive thought. That gets you thinking positively and glad about all the incredible blessings we have in our lives. But there is a mental and physical that we talked about, and you can help do that with the right breathing. And but when you exercise, you start burning up the blood sugar that's in your blood, and it starts stabilizing your blood sugar levels. The root cause of most depression is because of blood sugar levels out of control. And so that starts stabilizing it. And if you do intense enough exercise, HIIT training, then it'll also tap into endorphins, which, you know, in the brain, and it makes you feel good and it's exhilarating. So there is a mental component, which you got to start with first, and a physical component.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Okay. How does this make anybody feel? What have we been talking about or trying to accomplish without possibly even knowing it, that through our conversation so far this morning? See if anybody can work that one out. Sarah, you have something.
Yeah, before you change the slide, I wanted to just
okay,
share.
Go ahead. It's all right.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, just like probably continuing to what Brent shared. So these mental, emotional aspects are connected to are so beautifully holy. I mean, when I say holy, it's a WHOLLY, right? To all the things that we learned from CHC about the physical health. So when we do hydration, you know, we change our body, and it also impacts our mental thing. And exercise, of course, what everybody mentioned about that. And even going outside and having sunlight, it that changes our mental mood. And sleep, right? Sleep, and then nutrition also. When we take care of our digestive system, it all connects to the increasing the serotonin level, and breathing, having more oxygen in our body. And so before we go to the mental, when we take care of our body, automatically, because they are all connected, so connected. It's like our body's in our mind, but also our mind is in body. So it's really it's beautifully connected. So taking care of all the physical law will actually help mental attitude before we even do anything. But top of that, where I want to go was find something you enjoy, find something gives you pleasure. So by doing that, it's not really effort. I think okay, so it's an effortless thing that we need to find for you know, ourselves, and do that. And so it's not something you have to try, but it's a part of you. It's natural, so it works harmoniously. So that's what I wanted to share, and thank you.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, okay, what in the world is this? What I'm trying to get at here is that every every living and non-living creature vibrates, vibrational energy at its own special frequency. Every one of us sitting here today is vibrating at its own frequency. We are all different. And a lower vibration, or maybe when we are in negativity mode state, feels heavy, constricted, possibly even scared or anxious. And a higher one obviously gives us more happiness and joy. So let me get on to this next one here. Okay. This kind of comes from the scientist Nikola Tesla. And no, he did not design the Tesla automobile. Just in case anybody was thinking. Anyway, of course, he did say that if you want to find the secrets of the universe, and we're part of that, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, because we are all vibrating constantly. And when we're laughing, for instance, our vibration is what, do you think? When we're laughing, how do you think where do you think our vibration might be?
High.
Okay. And of course, when we're crying, when we're angry, when we're frustrated, and etc., I think everybody knows the answer to that. Nancy.
That's funny. I was so glad you showed this because I'm so interested in this aspect of things. And I was looking at Tesla and some information, watching a video the other day, and then something came up after it from another source, but it was showing a diagram of where the general population operates in terms of frequency. And it's a fear-based vibration. They said it doesn't mean you're walking around scared of everything. It means that your focus is on alertness, awareness. I mean, all the things that we have to be aware and alert of in our life are things we recall or problem that you might want to be cautious of. And so we're all operating in some range there. And then they showed what happens. I know maybe some of you know Bruce Lipton or Greg Braden's, and heart math type of training, and training yourself to be in a heart-based state, not the heart exactly, but the frequency of that, which reality is it starts in self-love. You know, you're going into self-love so you can move that out into your environment. And they showed that when you meditate and practice, it's a practice. Nobody knows how to just do this. But when you practice this, the frequency of the human body increases so significantly. The healing of the body is so much improved that they were showing the diagrams, and they've looked at it scientifically, energetically. And so, you know, it's for self-healing and it's for healing everything around us. And this is exactly where we need to be looking, and it's in everything. So
Yes,
yeah, that what Melanie was saying about prayer and all the gratitude and all these things, they're all pointing to this, which is science.
Absolutely.
We just haven't heard it that way until more recently.
Right. Well, Tesla said that our thoughts are vibrations too, obviously. And we change our frequency by reframing our perception into something more positive and of a higher vibration, which is basically some of the stuff that you were saying there. Eating organic foods and herbs, as they have a higher vibrational frequency, and cutting out processed junk foods, and cutting out pesticides and herbicides and all that other sort of thing comes with inorganic stuff a lot of times. Essential oils, that's something a lot of people don't think about, also contain frequencies that are several times greater than the frequencies of herbs and foods, and are a great tool for raising your vibration. Having healing crystals in and around your energy field is another way to raise your vibration. I have a friend who actually has a crystal shop, and unfortunately, I think it has closed down because of illness, but You could just walk into her shop and absolutely feel the difference. Just absolutely amazing. What are some other things that we might do to be able to raise our frequencies?
Judy?
Yep.
Judy?
Yep.
Yeah, it's this is really interesting, really where my real focus has been a lot the last year or so on quantum physics and everything. And really what everything boils down to is light and the frequencies of light, with the full spectrum throughout the universe. And Sarah mentioned how much better we feel when we get out into the light, the sun. We get a third of our energy from the sun a day. And the light, when we tune in, like Tesla was talking about, and we tune into the higher frequencies, the ones of joy and laughter and peace. Well, we know that when we're tuned into that frequency, it has a physical response in our body. Our autonomic nervous system goes into the parasympathetic mode, where oxygen goes into the cells, CO2 goes out, and we're in homeostasis. When it gets under stress, we're under fear, or the negative frequencies. The cells shut down in the sympathetic mode, and oxygen don't go in, the CO2 don't go out, creates the breeding ground for cancer, bacteria, and virus. And so it's really, we got to stay in a state of peace, or experience these other things, but we can override that. We have agency. Like in the very beginning, you talked about, Judy, why we're always beset by these negative thoughts and stuff. We're always in a state of balance, opposition. It's like a big balance scale in the universe between them. Us needs to be an opposition in all things. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So there's light and dark. There's, there's the good and there's evil. And you and I have our agency. We get to choose which way we pull the scale down. It might feel like it's a lot heavier on the dark side at times, but it's really not. We just got to change our view, because that stays balanced. That way we always have our agency. One doesn't get stronger than the other. So you're always going to be feeling the pull from one side or the other, and it depends on which way you're looking. Like at night at a street lamp, if you're looking at the light, you can see the light. If you turn around, look the other way, you see the dark. And it's but it has a physical effect on us, and it affects everybody else too. Our frequencies radiate out to everybody else. So we need to take all of these peaceful things and the love and happiness, and that's why I love these testimonials that people have, and you can feel the happiness and joy, and share that with people.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brent. Nancy.
Oh, that was perfect. Thank you. I just wanted to add that something I heard that I've always been, thinking about, is that everything is light. And the only thing that's dark, or what we consider, there's the yin and yang of everything, is just the absence of light. So yes, always reaching that direction can balance you. You experience both, but you have to know that the reality is that it's all light.
Yeah.
Just another way to look at that.
Yep. Excellent. Sarah?
Thank you. So yeah, going back to what Brent shared about light. So it has a maybe spiritual side to it. God is light. So, and also God has the highest frequency. So when we think about God, when we think like God, when we look at things in the eyes of God, that also raise our frequencies in our thought. And this quantum physics about frequencies, I love this area also. So if you look at the chart, the enlightenment is like going into the world where it's almost like you can feel God and you can see everything's in God's eyes. That's probably highest frequency we can have. But love, joy, peace, those are the highest frequency we can have. But if you go to the Bible, the fruit of the spirits, there are nine fruit of spirits. The first three things are love, joy, peace. So as a human being, and we live in this world, that things around us are constantly attacking our mental thing and constantly discouraging us, disappointments and bad news. They feed the fear in us, but we cannot avoid getting the coming inside, but also a lot of stuff we produce from inside of us. Everything's fear-based, shame-based, but how quickly we can return to love, joy, peace. I think that's how we make balance, and that's how we can actually we can get help from other people outside, but we can actually make decisions to encourage ourselves, lift us up. And so this is really interesting thing about like frequencies, but yeah. So we don't want to give authority to the negative spirit, like which is, it can be enemy of God, or you can say evil, but it's all also we actually created those words from inside of us. So how quickly we return to love, have joy, and achieving the peace from balancing all our thoughts and emotions. That would be, I cannot conclude, but I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Excellent. I wanted to remark about something that Brent had said too about the sun is, it brings up your vibration, and I think that's probably why I loved Florida so much, because for me, I needed help in bringing my vibrations up a lot, and so that's why I love the sun and the warmth so much. There's another thing. Let's just stop sharing this. Come out of here. I can see everybody's beautiful faces. But there are lots of things that we can do, and every frequency has a certain vibrational hertz. You know what I'm talking about with that? It has a number to it. Okay. And a lot of people do very well at meditating with some of that good high frequency music playing at the time, or even to sleep with it and that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's very interesting if you go in and do some research on raising your vibrational frequency. There's so much there that I was surprised when I started looking. I couldn't stop looking. It was just wonderful. But we're coming close to the end here, and I wanted to know if anybody has any other comments, questions, anything.
Great session, Judy, and
thank
lots
you.
of information from Brent, Sarah, and Nancy. They were great.
Peg, don't you have anything to add?
Well, we just have, I don't know, from all of this, I learned to see that glass half full rather than half empty, and keeping a positive, a mind, or thinking about the positive side of things, and the whole thing about beating yourself up, that's a tough one. I mean, I have
it is.
on my plate, but sometimes you get overwhelmed. So, and like, Vicky was saying, to put it in a jar. Well, it keeps coming up, even though it's in that jar. So
it doesn't stay put.
What do you do with that? I mean, it might be in that jar, but it's still inside there, so.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that, Vicky? If you put it in the jar, but it still keeps popping up?
We have a God box.
I do not actually experience when I do the things with the jar that things are popping up, because I know they are there. They can cross my mind, but they are not, they are not coming up the same way as if, let's say you've been tricked during the day and then you wake up and go to the toilet and you come back and then you can't fall asleep because the thoughts are just, pouring round in your head. I don't feel they do that when I have them in my jar because I know it's there. I know I'm not going to forget it. And I think a lot of times when thoughts keep coming back, it's just because our subconscious mind is afraid we are going to forget it. And now we're on that topic, which has been extremely well, Judy, today. I can just say, if you think those last 2 sessions has been great, then go on to next Friday, because that's when you're going to meet your true self. So we are actually following up here in steps, and I can't wait again until next Friday. So it's actually Master Coach Sarah Sampson, who is going to be talking to us next Friday on how to be your true self. And I urge you to be here.
That sounds wonderful. And I just really wanted to say also being around wonderful, positive people. It's like the minute that you said, "Oh, Peg," and you showed Peg's face, it was like, I haven't seen Peg in so long. I was like,
Thank you, Melanie.
so good.
I know the change of time helped a little bit, Peg, didn't it?
Yeah,
too.
I had a half hour more.
Yeah, by the way, it is Thursday.
Right, I was going to say, Vicky, it was Thursday. You mean not Friday? But here's
sorry.
I still have to come back to that. You're right. That an experience that I had that was so hurtful, I would like to forget about it. As a matter of fact, I mean, I thought to myself, it's something I'd like to put out on a far out pasture without a memory. That's how bad it was. So, I mean, but it's still in there, and not having any resolution as to why. So that bothers me. So, I mean, it was very, very hurtful, and not having an answer why. And, I guess, I
But
just,
sometimes not having an answer, Peg, is the lesson.
it's a lesson. I mean, you don't spend 10 years of your life doing something, then all of a sudden nothing. So,
Maybe the universe is trying to talk with you.
excuse me?
Hey, Judy.
Yes.
What Peg said, is so you got one convert already. Now she's looking at the glass half full, and instead of empty. And what Peg was just saying about here's something that might help you, Peg, is Christ's example where he suffered all the pains and sins of everything of which he deserved none of it. None of it he deserved any, forgave it all. That's an example for us. And where we grow the most is when we forgive things that come against us unjustly. It's easier to forgive stuff that we know, we might have had a part in. But when it all comes against us unfairly or unjustly, that's our greatest growth, our best overcoming. That is your ultimate test. Yeah. One other thing that Thomas said that was very interesting. He put on there about light and stuff, and put in Philippians, and he says the peace of God passes all understanding. And this is how you do that. Whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, whatsoever things are good report, if there virtue, there be any praise, think on these things. That to keep our frequency and for peace. And when you get this done in your heart, Peg, and you can forgive that, it's like a whole weight took off your shoulder. It's magic.
Well, it's not the forgiving that's the hard part. It's something that you'll just never forget. So
you don't forget.
You don't forget.
It just takes all of the negative away. You still
Right.
have that memory and you've learned from it, but
Right.
it's magic the way and that's what the atonement of Christ was all about, to make that kind of stuff go away.
Well, thank you.
I still love my father. Sarah, you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. So I think, okay, I raised my hand before Brent, and then Brent mentioned a lot of stuff that I wanted, so I don't need to. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's so beautifully scheduled, like Vicky said, and I was thinking the same thing. How beautifully it will connect to next week's discussion. So I would like everyone to remember to come back next week, because the topic I'm gonna lead would be really, truly a continuation of this, but we're going deeper. And also, one thing I can say is the best gift you can give to humanity is knowing your true self, because there's all the answers. There's a healing, there's a answers, and we just have to go there to what it is. And so please come back next week. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
I
Thank
will
you.
correct all of us, and remember, please, everyone, it is Thursday next week, and not, as we very by mistake said, Friday. Oh, Thursday. Yoo-hoo, it's Thursday. Okay, you heard me.
At 9 o'clock.
Thank you so much all for
Going in the jar, Vicky.
participating.
It's going in the jar.
So, Gary, can you close us out?
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, I'm
Thank you all
sorry.
for being here. And
Wow, sure
we'll see you
can.
next
I've had
Thursday.
a wonderful experience with you all today. Thank you, Judy. As always here, and with a smile on your face, regardless of everything that you're going through in life. You really show a great example of what you preach. And I know it's difficult and wonderful. Wow. But listen to this, what Sarah just said. I thought it was very powerful. She said, it's a gift to humanity to know yourself. That's wonderful, because when you have that light and you can shine, as you did today, Judy, you can bless the lives of many other people. And that is, that's the wonderful thing, you know. This I heard that love, by the way, is the same sort of thing. The more you share it, the greater it grows. And the more you understand, and the more you understand yourself, the more it grows. And so, you know, it's not a zero-sum game, like they say.
Gary, can I read a comment Rachel Bingham just wrote in the chat?
Sure, go ahead.
It's someone, we don't know who the author is. It was posted, is that while the pessimist and the optimist were discussing how much water was in the glass, the optimist drank it. Thank you for that one, Rachel.
Oh. Terrific. Oh.
Well, great. Thanks for another wonderful session. We'll look forward to next week, where we will hear Sarah and continue this discussion. Hopefully, this is a really good one to continue. I love you guys, and keep well this week. I'll take care.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Judy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.